Back when Verizon's original Droid Turbo was making waves, Motorola came up with a similar phone that could be sold outside the Verizon ecosystem. They called it the Moto Maxx. This year, Verizon picked up the Droid Turbo 2, but to make sure those without deep pockets still had a respectable Droid-branded phone to choose from, Verizon's offering a second one. How does it stack up to the other phones? And is it worthy of the Droid name? I'm Joe Levi with Verizon's Droid Maxx 2, and this is Pocketnow. When asked about the naming of the Droid Maxx 2, Motorola's CEO said it stands for max battery, max megapixels, and max value. We'll see about that. The silver ring around the phone isn't really metal, it's just painted polycarbonate. But it still looks pretty snazzy. The backplate is removable, though the battery beneath it isn't. That means you'll be able to change out your back cover to suit your whimsy, but there's nothing you can get to underneath it. Even the nano SIM and the micro SD card are in a tray at the top of the phone, not under the cover. The SD slot is something we really like. It can take your 16 gig onboard storage and supplement it with cards up to 128 gig. Sold separately, of course. The Droid Maxx 2 is basically a rebranded Moto X Pure Edition in terms of size. It curves from about 6mm thick on the edges to 10mm around back. That curve, as with other Motos before it, fits nicely in the hand, though with the removable back panel, feels a little flimsy at times. It's solid and substantial, all without being heavy. Just like other Motos in the family, the centerline dimple is a comfortable anchor point for your fingertip. Alas, that's all it is. There's no fingerprint scanner hiding beneath it. Unlike the Droid Turbo 2, there's no ugly carrier logo polluting the front. You'll find that around back, but that's a much more acceptable location. The screen is LCD, not AMOLED. It's topped with Gorilla Glass 3, not the Shatter Shield screen that the Turbo 2 gets. Don't try stepping on this phone with a horse or anything crazy like that. Bezels are minimal, and the screen looks nice. The power button is on the left side and is ridged to help you find it easily, with the volume rocker just beneath it. The Maxx 2 has a micro USB port on the bottom, capable of turbocharging, which is a good thing, but it includes wireless charging as well. While we'd have loved to see a Snapdragon 810 under the hood, the 1.7 GHz octa-core 615 will suffice, and it's a bit nicer when it comes to battery life. The software is a Motorola-fied version of Android 5.1.1 Lollipop. It comes with most, but not all of the added features Motos are famous for. The camera on the Droid Maxx 2 is pretty decent, with 21 megapixels and an f2.0 aperture, phase detect autofocus, dual LED flash, and very capable HDR modes for both stills and video. Yeah, we were impressed with how well pictures turned out. And no, the camera itself isn't all that great, but for a mid-range phone, it's not half bad. Overall performance with the Maxx 2 was perfectly acceptable and on par with what we experienced with similarly spec'd phones like the Nexus 5. The Snapdragon 615 processor can get bogged down at times, but only very occasionally in our experience. We weren't able to try out the advanced calling features like HD voice and video calling that the phone and the Verizon network offer, but traditional phone calls were great. LTE speeds around the Pocketnow Utah offices were pretty decent. It's got a 3630 mAh battery that Verizon claims will keep you powered up for 48 hours. In our experience with moderate to heavy use, the battery will get you through at least a day and a half. After more than 24 hours on our current charge, we're still at 30% battery remaining, an estimated 18 hours. And 10% of that has been with the screen on. The Droid Maxx 2 isn't a flagship, and it's not going to win any competitions against them. However, it is a very viable mid-range phone that performs right where we'd expect it to. It feels nice, it performs well, and it lasts at least all day and all night. If you're a Verizon customer and the Droid Turbo just isn't for you, for the retail price of $384 or $16 a month, the Droid Maxx 2 is the next in line. For picture and video samples and even more details about the Droid Maxx 2, head over to our website, Pocketnow.com. And follow us on your favorite social media channels. We're at Pocketnow on Twitter, and I'm at Joe Levi. Thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and remember, it's a great time to be alive. The silver ring around the phone isn't really metal. It's just painted polycarbonate. How about that?